All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Going to be giving you guys the game-by-game breakdown for this 3-game slate, and I'll be giving you guys my first look build for today. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so, yes, guys, it is worth calling out that the Pelicans versus Charlotte game has been bumped up to an earlier time, so it's not on the main slate. So it is only going to be a 3-game slate. And so we look at Houston versus Indiana here, guys. We do know that Kevin Durant is out. That's going to shift a lot of usage, and it kind of makes a lot of the Houston Rocket players all a little bit too cheap. For me, guys, for the Pacers, I don't necessarily like a lot of them. This is a lower scoring game and a 6.5 point spread, but I do think there are enough plays for us to consider here. And so let's go ahead and start off with Houston, guys. I do really like the idea of getting to Reed Shepherd. To me, he ends up being too cheap. He's projected to get right around 29 minutes, and that's going to be important. We need him to get that many minutes, because if he doesn't, then he's probably not going to be a good play. So this play is very much rooted in his projected minutes. And if we look at it, guys, he is projected to be about a 5.2x value on the slate. And for a 3-game slate, we obviously end up liking that a decent amount. Now, we look at some of the other Houston plays here, guys. I think they're all in play. Like Alfred Sengun ends up being a little bit too cheap. I think he's someone that we can pay up for on this small slate, knowing that we might not get value out of, like 5x is really what I'm only hoping for. Whereas Reed Shepherd, I think there's a good chance he does more than that. I think Amen Thompson ends up being a very solid play for us on this slate as well. Those are the 3 players I'm trying to prioritize. Tari Eason's priced up a little bit too much, but I am more than happy to really play both Thompson and Reed Shepherd in a lineup together. And then if we need to get a little bit cheaper, I mean, Josh Okogie here is not terrible. I don't mind it, but also I don't feel like he's a must play. To me, he's more of a secondary option. But again, on a 3-game slate, I'm perfectly fine getting to him. But yeah, I think we can get to Alfred Sengun on the slate. What's interesting, guys, he only averages about like 44 fantasy points per 36 with Kevin Durant off the court. If you look at like Prize Picks and Underdog, they have his line about 46 or so. So it's not like he's a lock and load play by any means, but also he's not terrible. On the flip side of this, guys, we do have the Pacers. We have all-star Pascal Siakam playing tonight, which, I mean, I get it. He's had a good season. I'm not going to complain about that just because his team sucks. But you would argue that's why. I think he's established himself in this league enough to know he's not. His stats aren't that inflated because his team is garbage. I do think it's interesting. Benedict Mathurin ended up getting 32 minutes in his last game. If he's someone that ends up getting 32 minutes again, I really don't mind him as like a punt play. And then Andrew Nembhard, just been extremely hot over the past several games. His price has now been bumped up, a decent amount since the start of the season, but you would almost argue that's a little bit too low, especially if you are going to be playing 3 players from Houston. Then Andrew Nembhard is someone that I really don't mind the idea of running it back with him. Now, if we look at it from a value perspective, guys, we're seeing TJ McConnell is actually going to be the best value for them, but I think it's really just 4 players that we're looking at: TJ McConnell, Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, and Pascal Siakam. They're all fine, but I really like the idea of getting to Nembhard the most, then Mathurin probably, and then McConnell. Again, McConnell's more of a salary relief type play. Then we go ahead and jump on into Minnesota versus Memphis. It is tough to break down this game because we do have Anthony Edwards listed as truly questionable, and we also have Julius Randle listed as truly questionable. If they are both to sit, that would make Naz Reid a better play. That would make Bones Highland a decent value. Jaden McDaniels would become better, and then Dante DiVincenzo would become better. I don't know what to expect. I'm not going to speculate here. Based off of the game total and point spread, to me, this suggests that they're both going to be active guys. So it's a 7.5 point spread in favor of Minnesota. To me, that suggests both Edwards and Randall will play. And so I'm just assuming that. And if we look at it, guys, we're actually getting decent value ratings on Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. I value them more as shoulder shrug plays. They are drawing a very good matchup against Memphis, a Memphis team that is going to be pretty darn thin. Ty Jerome is going to be the play that I'm going to be trying to get to, guys. Priced at $4K, ended up playing 20 minutes in his first game. Now projected to get 22 minutes. That could be a little bit higher. That could be a little bit lower. I don't mind that. Then I do think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a little bit too cheap, but he's also someone that's currently questionable. I do think there's a very good chance he gives us at least 5x, though, if he ends up playing this game. So I'm fine playing him. Now, if he ends up sitting, I think Gregory Jackson actually is a very appealing play. He's still a little bit too cheap, I would argue. But yeah, I think we're just trying to get to Ty Jerome the most, guys. If you need to play him in the flex spot, that's fine. But just he's one of the better values projection-wise on this slate. And then we jump on into the late night game. We got the Sixers versus the Clippers, guys. And I really love the idea of getting to Joel Embiid. With Paul George being out, Embiid is someone that should continue to play well, especially with him not having a minutes limit. And so my issue with kind of this first build that I have going is we're probably not going to play Jaren Jackson Jr. if we're trying to play it for Joel Embiid. Again, I think Jaren Jackson is a very solid 5x play, but I want to shoot for someone that can get us, 60 fantasy points. I do think Embiid has the chance to do that here. And then I don't mind the idea of getting to Kelly Oubre as well, just kind of betting on him to continue to play well. Had a massive game in the last game, which was a little bit higher than you would expect on a per 36 basis with Paul George off the court, but you would expect him to be able to continue to play well. Like 30 fantasy points for him while getting 30 plus minutes to me seems fair enough, and so I'm perfectly happy to play him in the power forward or small forward spot. And it is worth calling out, guys, in this game, James Harden's listed as day-to-day. I'm expecting James Harden to play. It is a close game as well, 2.5-point spread. And if we look at the plays that we're getting, like value-wise from the Clippers, it's just kind of non-existent. I don't hate the idea of getting to Harden. I don't hate the idea of getting to Kawhi. Like, we probably should be getting to at least one player from the Clippers on this small slate. It's just none of them are, like, predictable in regards to their outcome, at least from a ceiling standpoint. It's kind of a guess there. And then, yeah, we look at the value here for the Sixers. I will say I don't mind the idea of paying up for Maxey. The data doesn't necessarily like Kelly Oubre. I like Kelly Oubre. If you want to get to VJ Abdurrahman or Maxey instead, you could do that. And so let's try to close out this first look build here, guys. So we have the 2 forward spots that are left over. For this lineup, we are going to obviously be stuck with playing someone that we don't necessarily love to play. I'm going to put Walker in the small forward spot for Indiana, which is more just a shoulder shrug play for a 3-game slate. Like, I'm fine getting to him in this exact scenario. Not exactly someone I want to go out of my way to target. And then, strangely enough, like, if we have to get to, like, John Collins like this, I'm fine with it, but I don't necessarily love him. I would actually rather try to get down to Jackson or Josh Okogie there. I would rather get to one of those two and then pay up elsewhere. I just, like, it'd be probably getting off of Walker, so we'll try this just to see. And so here, maybe we get to Mathurin instead. Slightly different build, Jackson and then Mathurin. So that's kind of my thoughts on my personal hand build. We'll go and see what the 9-to-5 lineup builder is spitting out to us as some of the top builds. And here we go. So the top builds right now, guys. And I think we're going to have to take off the Pelicans and Charlotte, guys, just because, again, it was a slate originally where those teams were supposed to be on the slate, but because they're not, we're going to have to take them out. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to run these again. And so here we go. Now we got Maxey, Mathurin, Wells, Vince Williams. I'm okay with those. I probably won't get to both of them in a build. Sengun, which I'm fine with. Rather get up to Embiid or rather go down to Jackson, though, personally. But then we get Reed Shepherd. I really like Reed Shepherd. Naz Reid is a phenomenal play if Ant-Man's out or Randall's out. And then the same thing with DiVincenzo. So honestly, like, yeah, if Ant-Man and Randall are out, we definitely want to be playing those two. And then we could probably be able to pay up for Embiid and maybe even get Jaren Jackson and line together. So the thing that I'm noticing here is very spread out. I would say for a 3-game slate, there is a lack of, like, clarity in which we should be doing. I really like the idea of getting to Embiid as a pay up. I really like the idea of kind of getting the floor with some of the Houston plays like Thompson, like Reed Shepherd. Probably too many Pacers at 2 on a 3-game slate, but oh well, that's kind of how it shakes out. And then I like Ty Jerome a decent amount here, guys, assuming he gets a little bit more run. Not exactly the best matchup, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you being here. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, guys, let's keep cashing.